This is ITV News at 10 with Raghi Omar.
Good evening. It's a glossy 14-page booklet that every household in Britain will receive, spelling out the dangers of leaving the European Union and the benefits of staying in. But the cost of this publicity blitz, £9.3 million, is being funded by the taxpayer. And tonight, the government is being accused of abusing its power by throwing public money behind the side of the arguments supported by the Prime Minister. The government says it's responding to a public desire to be given more information ahead of June's referendum. Brexit campaigners say it is immoral and undemocratic, and it's developing into a furious row tonight.
The great political battle of our time, to stay in or leave the European Union. Going nuclear as the government sends a glossy leaflet to all of us and commits more than £9 million of taxpayers' money to argue the case that we should stay in the EU. Pedalling furiously to take us out of Europe, Boris Johnson isn't persuaded it's the best use of our tax.
I just think it's crazy to use quite so much taxpayers' money on stuff that is basically intended to scare people and to stampede people in one direction. I think what we want is a proper, informed debate, and if you are going to use taxpayers' money, you should allow people to put the other side of the case as well.
Well, the government's official position is that we do believe the remaining in a reformed EU is the right thing for Britain, it's the right thing for our jobs, for our security. The public are very clear, 85% of them have said they want more facts from the government.
So each household will get this glossy leaflet. It makes claims, such as that leaving the EU would be an economic shock that would put pressure on the value of the pound and would damage living standards. Ministers say those are facts. Others see them as propaganda. The leaflet will cost around £500,000 to produce and just under £6 million for printing it and posting it to 27 million homes. Another £3 million will go on a related website and promotion on social media, for a grand total of £9.3 million. Considerably more than the £7 million each of the... This, but I think an already heated and increasingly nasty campaign is going to get worse.
And some people would say that the timing of this, coming as it does after the Prime Minister and, in fact, this morning, the Chancellor, were facing pretty difficult questions about this whole question of offshore taxes, is convenient. Well, what do you think?
Well, I don't think you can see it just as a sort of cynical ruse to change the headlines. Why is that? Well, it's because actually 23 million of these things have already been
exactly. And
printed.
a lot of money spent on it.
They had to be, the announcement had to be made sometime, and they're going to be distributed next week. That said, I was talking to a Eurosceptic minister, somebody who wants to leave the EU this evening, and I asked him to come out and play and, attack the Prime Minister. And actually, he said he wouldn't, because he said he thought this was, I think, what Linton Crosby, the Prime Minister's media advisor, has called a dead cat bounce. What does that mean? You've got a bad story running, you get another story onto the headlines to knock it off. And what was significant, it seemed to me, about this minister's comment is relations with the Prime Minister are so bad that actually he would rather have the Panama story on the front page than a row about this.
Extraordinary. Robert, thank you very much indeed for that. Now, if you are wondering when the dispute between junior doctors and the government will be settled, the answer, it appears, is not anytime soon.